Welcome back to PuckLuck.com betting and fantasy team previews for the Dallas Stars. Dallas Stars team that 4 years ago was in the Stanley Cup Finals, losing to Tampa. It kind of felt like the wagon wheels were coming off as they missed the playoffs in the following season. And man, they needed some players to emerge, and they just did. It sometimes that just happens where you have these prospects, and every team covets their prospects. Every fan covets their team's prospects more than they will ever get there in reality. And the Dallas Stars fans were just completely right. I mean, Miro Heiskanen is a very, very, very good defenseman. Jason Robertson is a top player in this league now, one of the first round picks in Best Puck, and I'm sure in many fantasy fields. And Rupe Hintz is just an immaculate player. I mean, I love watching him play at full health. We had, some concerns 2 years ago. He missed games here or there. He seems back. This Dallas Stars team, we're going into next year. What is it going to look like? How is this team going to fare? So we get to the point projections. 105. I mean, that is likely division winning type of projection. Again, I think I talk about this with every single one of these picks. Goaltending matters in a model. I am always, and I know Matt as well, it's a bit of a, does goaltending really matter? But I think over the course of a season, it matters. In the course of a single night in daily fantasy, like we talk about quite frequently, it doesn't matter as much. So I am, a big fan of the Stars team. I think that they have just a ton of potential to once again get back to that, peak, playoffs and more. I mean, this team has really everything you need, and they have some new pieces coming in that I'm excited about. But on the other hand, they do have some aging players that we should also discuss. So let's get over to the odds per DraftKings Sportsbook. To make the playoffs, minus 750. Once again, DraftKings is pricing something to the absolute oblivion. I just, unless if you can, again, like maybe you can parlay some of this stuff, but like if you can parlay multiple teams to make the playoffs, at some point you're eating into your own upside. I don't know how you place a bet on that and feel good about it and just leave money for an entire season, but that's up to you. The division is where it gets closer. Like I said, I really like this team to have a good chance, and I was hoping for better odds. I think if you can find anything better than like plus 220, maybe a bite, but I'm again not locking up my money for an entire season on what it isn't even an edge. And Stanley Cup are right on the line. I believe in this team. I really do. So I would be at least interested in it. But I don't think it's anything crazy. And they priced it, correctly to our model. 105.5 is the point projection, and that's basically what we have here. You're just paying the rake, not the rake. You're paying into the vig. So I'm gonna sit this one out. Not a lot to really bite into here with the Dallas Stars, which is fine. We move forward to the players, and this is really where you may be able to find something I think that's worth betting. Jason Robertson, really the ceiling is to the moon, and I feel like for hardcore hockey fans that watch the Dallas Stars at any level of frequent basis, you may just it's kind of one of those things where when you watch Jason Robertson play, you just can. It's like he's always doing the right thing. He's always like I mean, even in the defense, he's just such an amazing, amazing player. And this is a situation where on Underdog.com, probably Prize Picks, whatever, you could take Rupe Hintz over 79.5, and Robertson over 102.5. And that's the kind of bet I would make, right? This is exactly what I was talking about last time. You could take them both together. Like if Robertson hits his peak or even close to that, that 130 mark, if he gets over 111, I mean, he's bringing Rupe Hintz along for the ride. And that's kind of why you see Rupe Hintz's potential so high. I think that Joe Pavelski is a lot better of a case that he could fall off a bit just with the aging curve. But man, I think if you're making bets on overs and unders, taking the Rupe Hintz, Jason Robertson points together in either capacity is just the right way of doing things. So I would definitely take a look at that. Higher, higher, lower, lower. Like I said, you can really go either way. Our model actually shades higher though on both of them. I mean, Rupe Hintz is more of right on the line. 76 being the median projection would technically be under. But if you're saying Jason Robertson gets over 102.5, which our model does, I really think they're both going to get there. So this is one of those situations. Like I said, I'm going to be putting that into a slip in some capacity because that is just how I prefer to bet is taking correlated events. That's the nucleus of most of my strategy. So that's what I'll be doing. As far as other players are concerned on this list, we're going to talk about a few of the older guys at the end. Let's get into the lines though, and maybe talk about some of the younger guys that we're not used to. So, considering the top line, we're just going to, at the start of the season, it should all be together. Pavelski, Rupe, and Robertson. I can't imagine they break it up. It was ultra successful last season. Um, Matt Duchene, new addition to the team. It's the old Matt Duchene. Boy, that could be fun. Tyler Sagan and Mason Marchment is the projection. Jamie Benn, Wyatt Johnson, and Evgeny Dadonov. A lot of years on the wing there with Wyatt Johnson, kind of an up and comer, a guy that had the same number of even strength goals as Leon Draisaitl, lest we forget. So it's a very interesting piece. Fasca, Smith, and Steele, who really cares. Suter is boy getting old. Can he actually handle the workload with Miro Heiskanen? I don't believe so, but I do think they'll probably start him there with Lindell, Hakanpää, Harley, etc. Ottinger in net is a staple. He is definitely someone, and again, I think in most fantasy circles, you really, really want to key in on this guy because I think he has the same type of upside as your Shesterkins, etc. This is a very, very good team, and he's going to see an exorbitant amount of starts. And you almost hope in some capacity that like Wedgwood is not only bad, but this team maybe just doesn't deliver. And late in the year, we see a team like think about Colorado last year where Georgiev was starting every single game, kind of out of necessity. This is a team that needed to win. So yeah, I would almost like if the Stars are not as good as maybe we're projecting in the playoffs in your fantasy circles, Ottinger is one of those goalies that could start every single game. So even if he doesn't perform to your expectation, that might be a good thing later in the year. If the Stars team is absolutely dominant and you get to the playoffs and Ottinger isn't necessary, that might be a bad thing for you winning a championship. So again, a lot of football spaces talk about this now. Hockey hasn't, but if you're not drafting to win a championship, what are you doing? And Ottinger is a goalie that is drafting to win a championship, in my opinion. You need those starts late in the season. So it could, you never know. This team could go for 120 points or something, and late in the year you're seeing more Wedgwood. But let's go with the Predators. And again, just a bit more general fantasy advice is, and we can get into that more. And if anyone has any questions, please let me know. I have the entire, puck best puck playoff schedule, and I'm sure many leagues will correlate with that. So if you are looking to again maximize for championship, let me know. The didn't have a media quote. I didn't even really reach out to anyone. I'm kind of just getting sick and tired of not getting answers. So we got something from one of the better best puck players over on Underdog, and he's asking about is Joe Pavelski too old to succeed? How many games will Jamie Benn be suspended? More than one. Thomas Hurley going to break out finally, and is Wyatt Johnson for real? I already said I think Wyatt Johnson's for real. Again, same amount of 5-on-5 goals as Leon Draisaitl. So I think this guy is incredibly gifted at goal scoring, and I think that he will mix in more. The biggest concern is, who is going to get that power play too. I think Jamie Benn's going to fall off personally more than Pavelski probably, but you could make the argument for either at their, very, getting older, getting long in the tooth. So I think Wyatt Johnson mixes into the top power play. Hence Robertson, Wyatt Johnson, and then you kind of mix in one more forward. There's a lot of options. I mean, it's probably Pavelski to start. And then Miro Heiskanen, of course, on the point. But I can't imagine they keep Wyatt Johnson off that top unit for too long. Just such a gifted player, and I'm really excited to see what he can do. So I'm fading Jamie Benn. I'm largely fading Joe Pavelski in most formats, but I'm going to get some shares just because if he is what he was last year, seems good to me. But I'm starting to get concerned. They also have Stankovic coming in and others, so keep an eye on it. I'm, I like to try to get ahead of the curve on the aging curve, so we'll see if it works out. So best advice again: correlate your picks. Robertson hints over or under. It really is poorly expected value positive either way. Although I lean over because I like Robertson a lot, and give me the Stars team being a playoff team again. Let's go.